Welcome to another edition of the Brewery Boys Expedition Podcast. I'm Ricky J. I'm here with Max P. Max, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing excellent. Rick, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, I'm sitting here with one of my favorites, the
Go-tos?
Juicy.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I like to experiment a little.
Fan.
But
you know what I'm going to do is next week, I think I have the new labels. I got to show you the new label for that can. It's going to blow your mind.
Really?
Really good. It's like a grizzly bear squeezing hops. And the hops are just oozing out of it. It's gonna be cool.
Man, I'm loving that. That'll give a nice Montana feel.
Definitely. Same with the backcountry, the new backcountry with the rack of horns on the guy's back and he's up in the hills. People are digging that one too.
Well, when do you think we'll see the new label on the Juicy cans?
I would say we probably have another, batch of that to go through as far as, because obviously labels are not free. And
they don't give them away?
No, they don't give them away anymore.
That's
they used
weird.
to.
Weird.
So we're going to burn through those, but I would say within a month you'll start seeing them show up on the store shelves across the state.
Well, look for them because that's the freshest.
Absolutely. Yeah,
maybe you move that around. You look back in there and say, "Oh, that's a little fresher."
Looking at that day old bread.
Yeah, if you've listened to the podcast, you know to look for the bear.
Absolutely. So yeah, been a busy week. Lots of stuff going on at the brewery. This is probably the busiest time of the year for seasonals for us.
Oh, okay.
So between the neighborhood IPA, which is a massive labor of love because it just takes so much effort to get all those hops picked and take the ones that people are bringing in and doing that whole process. That I just tasted it today. It's going to be a really good beer. Super excited about that. We dry hopped it. It's in the aging profile right now, so we're probably looking at next week that coming out. And then, of course, Oktoberfest has got a really good reaction. By the way, some people have been messaging on Facebook asking, what happened to the Lewis and Clark Lager? And you and I did the whole Lewis and Clark trail years ago and actually drove
I still have the Lewis and Clark Lager hat.
That's a classic.
It's been to places that don't exist.
Probably one of the best hats we ever made.
I love it. That's why I still wear it. It fits better than any hat I've ever had.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't duplicate that because I've actually taken that hat and it said, can you just make one like this?
I've searched from the labels that I can still read on it, and I can't find another hat like that.
Yeah, it must have been one time good.
It was magical. But yeah, we made the run through Nebraska along the Lewis and Clark Trail and the Dakotas, and it was a great trip.
Yeah, so we've had people say, hey, when's the Lewis and Clark Lager coming out? Well, a little behind-the-scenes info here, a little Easter egg in the podcast. Lewis and Clark Lager is a Martzen-style beer, which is an Oktoberfest. Always has been. I just like the way Lewis and Clark Lager rolled off the tongue years ago when we first did it. And so we've actually now marketed as an Oktoberfest. Great looking label. Came out just really cool. And we did that for the first time last year, and it sold out, I would say, twice as fast as it did the previous year's Lewis and Clark Lager. Some of that probably is because people, kind of get in that Oktoberfest mood in September. And now, what are we, October 2nd today? So we are in the month of October. And that's when they're super popular, and it's been very popular. A lot of growler fills going on to that, a lot of cans being picked up at the tap room. You don't find wide distribution just because it's a fairly small batch. So you'll find it at a few locations in Helena and maybe a couple of beer stores in Bozeman and Missoula. But for the most part, in the tap room, and we have both cans, and we have, of course, growler fills, and we have it on tap, so people are enjoying it. And it'll be at the Oktoberfest, which is at the fairgrounds. And I guess I should have done a little bit of preparation for that. But down at the Lewis and Clark Fairgrounds, there's an Oktoberfest this year. Let me just check what it is. You can cut this out a little bit. Let's see.
Oh, no, it's going to stay in. It shows our organization. It's a little behind the scenes. While you're saying that, I'll just mention, while you're looking for that, I had a chance to go this weekend down to the Townsend Fall Fest and saw a few bands down there. They have really good music. It's great that community puts that on, and it's all free.
We drove through it because we went
To the game, right?
Bozeman game, and there was a lot of people. I mean, a lot of cars out there.
The weather wasn't great. It's been better in other years, but it wasn't terrible. But it was definitely cooler. But that's really where I saw the Dusty Tones perform, and then was able to make that connection. And
nice.
So that's going to happen and really great. The whole band is great, and so we're going to get the whole band in. I think I'm working on a date in December.
Oh, cool!
So for the whole band, but they play, a lot of great songs, really good covers. People love. Blues, a lot of blues.
Oh, cool.
And
I just know I heard that Fleetwood Mac, I think.
Yep.
Wow, that was really good.
Got Eric Clapton. Fleetwood Mac is amazing. Just a lot of those are, you're really going to enjoy them.
That's another
They're
thing
all
we
really talented.
Probably should pull up. I mean, that's worth seeing on the podcast. I was really impressed with her voice. She sounds really good. But how about the other bands there? Who else you see down there?
Well, there's some good ones. Showdown was one out of Missoula. I thought,
good country band, right?
Good country band, yeah.
We should probably reach out to them too. They'd be good to.
That's what I was thinking. If we just stayed,
can't remember if we've had them in the tap room. That name sounds familiar, so I've
it
definitely
does.
heard of them.
I don't remember them coming to the tap room, but I thought about reaching out to them just on Facebook. Send them an email.
Yeah, I don't see anything on the calendar under Showdown, but I know.
But they'd be fun. They have a really. They have a fiddle in the band. You got to have a fiddle in the band.
Oh yeah,
and they so that adds a unique take on. Give some things that they can do that other bands probably can't do or have to substitute that fiddle.
Sure. So I did find the Oktoberfest. Queen City Oktoberfest is the official name, and it is the 13th and the 14th. So we're talking about 2 weeks away. And we'll have our Oktoberfest on tap. I think they also got probably Miner's Gold and one of our other beers. And it's kind of a unique Oktoberfest because not only is it an Oktoberfest, but they also have a car show and a rodeo. So
the rodeo is the one that is quite interesting.
Yeah, Rough Stock Rodeo, right outside. It was my first ever last year experience of an Oktoberfest in one tent, and they had all the classic things. They got the Stein holding contest, and they've got the polka music going on, and then you walk just about 30 feet away into the next building, and you got bull riding going on.
Nice. Do you remember, is it a full rodeo, or is it
I think it's called
mainly bull riding?
Called Rough Stock Rodeo. So
probably the bronc riding and bull riding.
I don't think they're doing
the roping and the
might do barrel racing. I'm not sure.
Yeah. As a former barrel racer, I'd like to see that included. But
absolutely. Yeah, I know.
They wouldn't let me. Dang it!
I know you still got the state record in Nebraska.
When I barrel raced his Ricky with an eye, yeah. They found me out and stripped all the titles.
Before the change, of course.
Yeah. Woohoo! Not that there's anything wrong with that, as Seinfeld would say.
Yeah. So who else see down? Was you there for both days or just one day? Or?
Both days. Parts of both days. Got down Saturday and then went down Sunday morning to see Dusty Tones and catch them early and so was busy. Wanted to get back Sunday and get up to Great Falls actually to see Everclear.
Oh wow! You've been jamming the music.
Yeah, so saw them. Might have just been that we were a little burnt on music and a lot of miles over that past couple days, but just weren't. Definitely not blown away by Everclear.
Okay.
And that's the first. Was
it same place we seen? Blackberry.
Yep.
Or Newberry. Okay.
Yeah, the Newberry. Yeah, cool. And so I know their sound system is good and everything. It just.
Curious on the crowd, about the same as Blackberry. A
lot more.
Oh, okay.
It was almost at capacity, I would say.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. So it was a big show.
I'm trying to remember the song. I think it was Low, L-O-W is one of their big ones. I can't, but had a couple. I wasn't a huge fan, but they were on the playlist.
Yeah, I mean, I
come through.
I was never like a huge fan, but I did like some of their stuff. Matter of fact, I've listened to one song that I kind of want to learn. I think I could make it a solo song just for the fun of it. But in that genre, and it's probably maybe not the exact genre, but in that time period, I mean, Green Day is like my favorite band in that time period. I think it's at least a very similar genre.
Yeah.
But I would love to. I don't know
Original
how
members,
much.
you think, or hard to tell?
I didn't do that much research.
Yeah.
It looks like several original members, but
Cool.
but you said because I said, man, it'd be awesome to get Green Day somehow. But you said they.
Yeah, just today that I heard something on Sirius XM. They posted something on Facebook for the first time in a long time, and it said something about November 1st and sign up for a day or get noticed about a day. So I'm assuming they're about to talk about a new tour and launch or something like that. Another one that I wish I was at and caught quite a bit of video came through my feed this week was the very first show at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Did you see any of that?
I didn't see any of it, but I heard about it.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable. I mean, just came through Instagram and Snapchat and some other things I follow, and we definitely got to get down there and see somebody that takes the time to really build a beautiful video presentation.
Right.
And U2's great music too, so pretty easy to kind of fall into that because they got a lot of hits. It's you know the music. I thought it was kind of cool the videos that I seen too. It was the band. A lot of times bands have a hard time with things that distract from the music and distract from them. In this case, I mean, they're smart enough to know, hey, this is going to be a very unique experience for everybody that's sitting there. I think it holds 22,000 or somewhere around there. And so when you looked at the stage, it was very subdued. I mean, 4 microphone stands, a simple drum kit. And if anything, at least on the clips I seen, there was not even a lot of light on them. And I think they realized, hey, this is kind of like going to see, years ago, I remember going to the planetarium near the UNLV where I was going to school down in Vegas and seeing Pink Floyd laser show.
Right.
And, you know, it's all about the visuals. And yeah, you recognize the music, you love the music, but the visuals are really pulling you in. And I think that was, at least from the clips I seen, they seemed to understand that and design that entire thing around, hey, let's just blow their minds here. This is going to be an incredible experience of looking up and around and down, and really cool.
Well, that's where I would think a reimagined Pink Floyd, The Wall.
That would be
using
huge.
the technology of that Sphere. Yeah, and I understand there's a studio out in California that's set up just to make video specifically for the screens and stuff on the inside. And so to go back to that, the Wall video that came out and just do that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you could get Roger Waters or someone there, great. But I mean, realistically, you could. I mean, I think there's 5,000 speakers in that thing. You don't really even need the band if it's produced right. People will go just to see the show, just like I went to see the laser show.
Right.
People would go to see that. And actually, a buddy of mine's heading down there Thursday, and they're actually going to see Pink. And
she would be awesome.
Not
to see.
in the Sphere, but it's gonna. I think it's at Allegiant, the big football stadium. But at any rate, he wanted to just go check it out. And they do have a package where you can just go, I think it's like probably a 30-minute thing where they just kind of blow your mind when you're in there with a presentation, sound and video and all that.
Wow.
But the cheapest seats were all sold out, and the cheapest seats he could get were like $135 just to go watch the demo. So it's pretty spendy.
Wow.
Now, and I'm sure that's because the only thing left were the primo seats that are probably right in the center and the most visually exciting and sound and all that kind of stuff. But then I seen another video where 18,000 people were moving through the Venetian Hotel and Casino. And there was a comment underneath it, something about 18,000 people spending on average $50 as they leave or something like that. And it's like, oh yeah, they've got that design pretty good.
Those machines,
it's like the only way you get out of this is you got to walk through a casino.
And they're all designed to call your name.
Absolutely. So be pretty cool to check it out though. I'm hopeful that when next time I make a trip, I'm going to look long and far ahead to at least do the demo. I just want to go inside and see what it looks like, hear the sound. And then someday see a band that I really enjoy. I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money and be blown away by that, and also, so that you can really focus on the visual because you know the music so well. So not someone that I've kind of heard of, but someone like, oh no, I really know their music. That would be fun to do.
Right. Well, I know we did a little shorter version with coming out with the bands and stuff that are coming, but what's coming to the brewery?
Lots of good stuff, especially we start looking around the corner a little bit. But I mean, this week we got, as you mentioned, Angie Paulson and Ole Olson from the Dusty Tones on Thursday. And then free beer bingo, we only do that once a month, and all the money that we raise for that goes to a charity. And this charity is, one of the favorite charities, I would say, in Helena. Anytime we have an event that has the Lewis and Clark Humane Society, get a lot of people that are interested in coming down and supporting a great cause. There's just so many pet lovers in this community and, probably everywhere nowadays. But so when you come down, not only will you win some free beer, and they've got a lot of other prizes that we give away, but you're actually every dollar you spend on bingo cards. And I think you got a little bingo experience you told me about just a week or so ago.
Yeah.
So maybe we should make a date and do a little bingo that Friday night.
That would be awesome, yeah.
But that'll be a good night on Friday. And then Saturday, we got Old Man Ben and the Grown Ass Men. And they just a great bluegrass band out of Phillipsburg, kind of formed during the COVID era. And just some guys that got together and started playing music to kind of, increase their mental health. And now they're really good. And so they've opened up for a couple of bands. They actually opened up for Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs. And I got a little announcement about Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs this week. We just posted, I think, a couple of days ago. The bummer part of it is there's going to be making some changes in the band, and they've been together 10 years. And Lena, who is Laney of Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs, and Brian, who's the fiddle player and also does some vocals, they've decided to move on from the band. Been on the road a lot. I mean, those guys have toured all over the country, and so we got them booked. December 7th is the date for Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs. It's a Thursday. It will be their last show in Helena with the original cast, original members. So we put those tickets up for sale, and they've already outsold any of the shows we have on the schedule, and that's 2 months away. So I would fully.
So I guess get your tickets if you want to go.
I would fully expect that show is going to absolutely sell out, and so get your tickets. They're another band, North Fork Crossing, I believe. Let me take a quick look here at the old website because, I'm completely prepared for the conversation.
Exactly.
But another band out of Bozeman that's actually going to be opening up for them. And, North Fork Crossing. I want to make sure it wasn't South Fork. I'd hate to, get the North and South wrong on that. Get your tickets for that. That's going to be a packed house, and they put on such a great show, such high energy. And then let's face it, as you're playing your final shows as their current ensemble, now keep in mind the Bird Dogs are going to continue, and who knows what that will, I'm sure we'll have them back at some point. But we've really built a long-term relationship with Laney Lou and the Bird Dogs, and even they were the only band we've ever made a beer for. We made the Black Dog Lager, or the Bird Dogs Black Lager, and that was a really cool thing to be able to kind of get that on tap as they toured through Montana at the different bars that they were playing at. So going to be a really fun show. And then peeking a little bit further down, not even quite as far. I'm sorry, rewind that a little bit. But we have Marty O'Reilly, and we talked about him a little bit last week, coming solo. We have changed that show. We've just made it a $5 cover show instead of a ticketed show. That just happened today.
And that's this month, right?
Yeah, that's October 12th.
Okay.
Yep. And then on the 13th, we have Gilda House, and Gilda House is from Billings, and Meg is the lead singer there. And wow, what an amazing voice. I mean, just really incredible. And starting to get a pretty good following here in Helena, huge in Billings. So if and some great it's a trio now with some good synth, and it's just one of those really cool vibes that's really driven by some amazing vocals. So if you haven't seen Gilda House, that's just a whopping $5 cover. Come on down and check them out, and that's on the 13th. And then the 14th, we got David and Deidre Casey, local band that you and I have both taken musical lessons from David. Well-accomplished musician, and both him and his wife and the whole band are just full of really good musicians and just put on a great show. And then the Justin Case Band on the 19th, and then I'll mention one more, and that is on the 20th. We've got a really good rock and roll band coming to town, two of them actually, Rail and Blue Tattoo. And I think I might have mentioned this maybe week before, but they won the Basement videotapes on MTV. They were on tour with Van Halen for an entire year. And they've just recently got back together like a lot of classic rock bands have from that era, and have some great music. So if you don't have tickets for that yet, I would encourage you to do that. I know the entire upstairs is already sold out. 130 people already in the VIP area. So go online, lctaproom.com. Go to YouTube or Spotify or wherever you get your music and check out Rail. I know you've heard several of their songs because they were played pretty heavy back in the MTV original, back when MTV played videos.
Right.
And really some good rock and roll.
Sounds like it's time to get out the old 80s rock clothes.
Yeah, you might want to get those spandex pants,
maybe a leather jacket. I don't know.
And tease that hair up a little bit.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Going to be a fun night for sure.
Yeah, that does sound great. And that's upstairs is private on that one. Private party, birthday party, and the VIP downstairs
area, and then GA downstairs. And be kind of first come first serve on the limited seating that we have downstairs there. But
so pretty much a standing room. Probably get to a standing room. Just expect, unless you want to get there really early, you're probably going to be standing.
Yeah, you'll probably be standing, which is not uncommon at concerts, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly the way everyone I've gone to in Great Falls is all standing room only.
We get people that are like, hey, how come you don't have seats? It's like, well, we're not really an auditorium.
Yeah.
We're more of a venue. And
right.
Venues, you're going to be standing while you're listening to the music. I mean, if you find a beer rail, that's like a huge bonus.
You want to get to a wall that you can lean against, so or beer rail, something. If you got that, that's awesome. Gives you a place where you're grounded.
Yep, for sure. So we got a lot of good stuff coming. And again, back to the beer side of the house.
I actually wanted to ask you about the neighborhood. So, like, how many growers of hops? Because this is where people are bringing in small amounts to a little bit larger amounts of hops that they've grown in their yard or someplace.
Yep.
And any idea, off the top of your head, roughly the number of people that are bringing in hops?
Yeah, I would say on an average year, we have between 30 and 50 growers.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people growing hops.
And it's crazy because sometimes, we weren't really clear in our advertisement last year. So we said, if you donate a bag of hops, and we didn't describe what a bag was. So we had someone, and I should have grabbed a picture if I would have thought we were going to talk about it. It was pretty amazing. Took the time to make a little paper bag about this big with like a little, even like a handle on it, and had one hop inside.
All right, you gotta give that person points for creativity.
So he got a Hop Growers Union card, and that gives him a discount on the beer and other cool stuff. But for the most part, people bring in anywhere from, I would say a gallon freezer bag full, up to probably our biggest hop donator is usually out of Townsend, and that's somewhere in the neighborhood of like two big 30-gallon garbage bags full. And this year we actually got quite a bit of hops from the 6th Ward Garden Park. So kind of across from the brewery.
Close to the bus station there.
Yep, the bus station and the, what's the climbing center over there?
Oh yeah, the climbing wall.
Yeah, you can go over there and do some indoor climbing, which is nice.
I personally haven't been climbing there, but I drive by it.
That surprises me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shocker, shocker.
But
I don't have the chalk for my hands.
Yeah, yeah. And you probably need special shoes.
Probably.
I know when you get into something, you get the best of it. So you drop $1,000 on climbing gear.
Yeah, and then
for
use
the
it,
indoor.
use it twice a year.
So yeah, we've been known to do that a couple of times. We've been known to buy similar items. So,
yeah, exactly.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you that I'm about to pitch you on. We had some great time fishing last weekend.
Oh yeah.
And I've been diving down the YouTube rabbit hole on fishing gear and trying to decide whether I wanted a float tube or I wanted a kayak. And we talked a little bit about kayaks. Well, one thing I learned is I got to get a pedal kayak because the pedal kayaks free up your arms for fishing and
a little beer.
Have a beer in one hand. And it's so cool to watch these guys go up to an area and then just kind of backpedal a little bit and it just keeps them right there. Or you control, so you got two rods going with lures, and you're just pedaling and just waiting for that thing to hit. And so I've been going down the hole and found a couple of inflatable ones, which are pretty cool. So fit into a duffel bag, could be checked on an airplane, but have the pedal set and everything. And you can either pump it up with the pump they include, but you and I would opt for the electronic pump.
I think so. Yeah.
And you pump those things up and they're so tight. I think they're 15 PSI that you can stand up on them and they're like a stable platform. Kind of like you've probably seen some of the paddle boards that are inflatable. I mean, they get hard. Like they feel like they're a solid surface. So we might be looking for that,
Yeah, I'd love to look at them, yeah.
And I just thought, I know that there's some really cool, hard shell. Most of them are like a resin shell kayak.
Yeah, I've been looking at those over the past several years.
You got trailer, and then you got garage, and you got And I just thought, until we actually do it a lot, maybe we should go. Maybe
shouldn't spend $5,000
exactly
or more.
So I'll have to send you some links there because they do have some 2-person ones, but they're quite a bit bigger, quite a bit more expensive. Right. So it would be nice to get, if we each got a 1-person and, throw them in the back of the truck and go up to these lakes and just, 37 pounds. I mean, you could literally backpack that into a lake that it wasn't too far of a walk.
Right.
And what a beautiful thing to be able to cruise around with.
Oh, yeah. And the nice thing is, if you had we knew we both had them and you had someone come into town that you wanted to go with, then you just borrow mine. You have one you can borrow, and vice versa. If you have family
next
come in
summer,
or something.
look for a podcast from the water.
Oh, hello.
We got to get all waterproof. You got to replace all this stuff.
That's
with
right. Got to waterproof. All of the gear that we're looking at, maybe to do some remote stuff, has to be waterproof for sure.
No, that would be a lot of fun. Definitely looks like a lot of fun to be had out on the water and getting into some tight spaces that, are a little, especially in a lot of these mountain lakes that we've been to. Sometimes the shoreline's pretty rugged. I mean, a lot of brush. And so just to get to some of those areas on the shore is a commitment. And you come out with stuff stuck in your, socks, and you got scratches on your legs and all that stuff. So we need the lazy man way to get there.
Exactly. That would be good. Well, even just seeing that guy on Park Lake, or that couple, they each had one, and
they were catching fish,
right?
No question. I mean, you're getting out there where people aren't fishing all the time,
right?
Because it's just a different level of commitment. It's so easy to drive up and cast from the shore, and there was a couple little islands out there too that you can't get to. Some of them you can walk to, but a couple of them, you gotta get a boat or something out there, and the non-motorized part of it. There's a lot of lakes and areas that reservoirs, so to speak, that don't allow motorized, and human power is not considered motorized. So speaking of motorized, just came across my feed today. I had one time was very close to buying a one wheel. Do you remember the one wheel?
Oh yeah.
So you got the motorized
well,
wheel.
You better get a helmet. You get one.
recalled 300,000, all 300,000 recalled today.
I believe that. I wonder how many people have died.
Four.
You look at it, and it does. Now, hats off to them if they've ridden them and not gotten hurt.
Yeah.
But my old house, I'd have a neighbor that would ride one and go by. I'm like, dude, it is just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Before you have a
and
huge
the manufacturer
crash.
Is, of course, scrambling, and they're writing an update to the firmware to try to solve the problem that they have. But apparently, people just take them to the extreme, and they ask the machine to do something that it can't physically do, so it just stops. And when you're going that fast and something stops, you fall off of it.
You don't stop, do you? The
No,
whole physics.
you
If I remember from my physics,
hence the helmet becomes
becomes critical.
because a lot of these guys are on pavement or concrete, and not very forgiving when your head hits.
And what is that? An object in motion continues in motion, something like that.
Tends to stay in motion.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. My body would not like kissing the pavement.
Yeah, for sure.
At this age, for sure.
So, what else? Went to the MSU game. Bobcats got another win, which was awesome. Grizz had another win, which is awesome. Good to see Montana, both teams winning. That's always a good thing. Keep people going to the games. Carroll, just all the way around. So
I heard
week
Tech.
for
I
football.
don't know what Tech did this weekend, but I heard they had a good win the previous weekend. They're doing well.
Yep.
So it is fun.
And we've caught a little slice of nice weather to where the games haven't been miserable. I mean, been pretty nice.
For the Nebraska game this last weekend, it was 90 degrees.
Really?
It got so hot, and it was pretty windy, but it got so hot, I guess they had some people were being hauled out of the stands.
Maybe. Oh, and they don't serve alcohol there, do they?
No.
Wow. So
I'm sure there's a little alcohol flowing in the parking lot. Yeah. I'll tell you what, with the results that we've been getting for the past several years, you're going to need some alcohol. Maybe, not only beer, but maybe some whiskey.
Yeah, I'm amazed at some of the college games that don't serve alcohol in the stands. I mean, I think in the not too distant future, they probably all will because there's just too much money there. But even the ones that don't, the alcohol seems to flow pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, people have figured out ways to get, whether it be, this was last year, but I couldn't believe that the lady in front of us actually turned around and pulled out of her purse a tampon that had a screw top on it.
Wow.
And then had I think it was Fireball.
That is funny because that's something that the most security people are not really going to look at. That.
No, you're good.
Ooh, tampon.
You're good.
Yeah. You might need that.
Yeah. No, I'm not even gonna inspect it.
No, I'm just going to let that go right in. Oh my gosh.
So I guess if you're a security guy at these games and you see someone with like 11 tampons, you've got to say, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's funny. Well, the Nebraska Stadium is getting a huge remodel. I believe the south end zone, all of that is going away. It's never been since 19 whatever when it was built. It's not ever been remodeled. So it's going to be pretty much demolished, and they're building a whole new end to that.
Really?
And I think
is it more capacity or just
capacity
upgraded suites?
Capacity will actually go down a little bit. And I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, maybe like 10 or 12,000 seats. So it'll go down.
Okay.
However, I think what everyone's looking at is the experience for the fans that are there.
Oh.
And so when you said alcohol, I think alcohol is absolutely something that's going to be included. I think you'll start seeing maybe little bars put in or something with TVs and stuff like that. So that whole fan experience, I think, is got to be added. I mean, I think that's what
people want.
Teams are looking at and colleges are looking at. And that's the next, the locker rooms and training facilities and all that stuff to be competitive or being high end. And now you're looking at the fan experience. And kind of it's an interesting thing. Some of that booster money is getting split between NIL and improving stadiums and stuff like that. So as far as the staff and the ADs of the world, they've got to decide, how do they get that money to flow? Do you pay X million for the
do we get a better linebacker?
for the quarterback, or do you get an improved more improvements to your stadium?
Handmade cocktails at the end zone.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Awesome. Well, let's see. What else is going on? Talked about the brewery and what's going on there. We got the pumpkin ale that we're just going to be brewing here, I believe, this next week. The most popular beer that we do at the brewery is the pumpkin ale each year. We're going to do a double batch, so hopefully we'll have a little bit more and it'll last more than 2 weeks. And of course, we do the nice cinnamon sugar rim on the glass, and we do the pumpkins from Westmont, and we bake those. And we do our pumpkin ale quite a bit differently than, I guess,
it's not just a packaged powder flavoring spice.
Not just spices and that sort of thing, or even canned pumpkin. But most of the pumpkin ales out there, honestly, don't even use pumpkin. They just use a lot of pumpkin flavoring and spices and stuff like that. But I think that's what makes ours a little unique, and it definitely is a labor of love. There's a lot of work that goes into baking that many pumpkins and then getting them into the mash tun and going through that whole process. So looking forward to that one. That's going to be a good one. Some news in the game room. Not only did we start the fall league for the golf simulator at the Lewis and Clark Country Club, it's sold out. And so that's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for the league. So if you want to rent the golf simulator, your options now are Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so we are going to start opening that up a little bit further out. We've already had a lot of people asking questions about, when can I book it? How far out can I book it? And that sort of thing. And as the weather turns, people in Montana start thinking, well, it's getting kind of crappy outside. I still want to swing some clubs. Where can I do that? And we are one of those options. And of course, we have the most technologically advanced golf simulator in the world, the Golf On, which has the hydraulic floor and all that kind of stuff. And one of these days we'll have to do a segment just on that.
Yeah,
maybe
that would be great.
Actually when we're playing, because you and I are both in the league down there, maybe I'll catch a little video of us swinging a club with the floor, and we can talk about that at some point, just so people have a sense of what makes it unique and different. But already the reaction has just been really amazing. The people that had never played on it before that signed up for the league are saying, hey, do we get first dibs on the winter league? Because we're going to have a 10-week league now, and then we'll have another 10-week league in January, probably starting in mid-January. And so they're already asking, hey, can we reserve a spot there, which is cool. And then in the pinball lineup, really cool. I got to get you down and check out this Fishtails. So Fishtails is an old pinball machine, not old, but I mean probably from probably at least 20 years ago. Williams produced a game all about fishing, and it has the ability to get multi-ball. You're loading up this big reel, and then it just starts casting them out, and it's got 2 different boat ramps you can go around. Well, what we did is we took this machine, which is still rated, I think, in the top 50. Great pinball machine, and our guy Cody, who manages the Lewis and Clarkade, is also a master at fixing all these things, and he rebuilt that machine from the ground up. I mean, we powder coated the legs, we put new glass in. It's got a new back glass. It's got a color DMD, new speakers that are lighted, LED lighted speakers. I mean, it. When you walk up to you say, wow, this is kind of like, did they remake this? And that's kind of what it is. It's a brand new version of a classic, and it's been really popular. People playing it like crazy. But the big announcement is, I believe, we'll confirm this next week, but right now we're shooting for October 17th, and I believe that's like a Tuesday, to have our first pinball tournament.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be an IFPA sanctioned event, which is the International Flipper Pinball Association. And it'll also be an event that Stern will be giving us some prizes for, which is a pinball manufacturer.
Wow, that's great.
And Cody has just been all over setting that up, getting all the rules and regulations. We've already got 6 people kind of said, hey, I want to be there. I want to sign up. We're not quite ready for signups till we get everything done. But if you're a pinball fan, keep an eye out because, we're going to be doing tournaments at least once a month, and that may end up getting into a weekly tournament down the road.
Will this be live broadcast on ESPN The Ocho?
No, I was thinking I haven't got the final confirmation. I was hoping the Ricky J experience expedition might
get some cameras down there.
And we could do at least. It might not be on Twitch, but I do have a Twitch account, so we could probably
we could do maybe Lewis and Clark Brewery, either YouTube Live, or Facebook Live, one of the two.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Matter of fact, on got to get the details together, but on the Husker podcast, Husker Fans in Montana podcast, so we're going to give away a couple really nice tickets to a game. I think it's like on the 21st. Nebraska has this game, and then they have a bye week, and then the next game, the Northwestern game. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I'm thinking I'll have to get your advice too, but just to do it on Facebook and do like like the page, like and comment on this. Yeah, and then if you do that, then you're entered in a chance to win that.
What's the easiest way? Because I did have someone actually at that record store where I got that album ask me, what's the easiest way for people to find that podcast?
It's really probably just go to
is
the RJ just Instagram, the RJ Expedition.
RJ Expedition. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And or Helena or Facebook, what is it? Nebraska Fans in Montana, something like that. Okay. But the RJ Expedition on Instagram then has all the links. If you go to that page, to the Facebook page, to the Twitter page, to the YouTube page, or YouTube at the Expedition is another way to get to it. That's probably the easiest one to say. Just youtube.com at the Expedition.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's short and sweet. And that, now looking at it, that's probably the easiest way. But
that would be all of the podcasts?
All of them. Our podcast, everything is just on that youtube.com at the Expedition.
Cool.
And the other page, the Instagram page, also has the links to like Twitter and Facebook and those things. So it's a little more inclusive. But yeah, now that I think of it, to get someone to find either of these two podcasts, I've just been saying youtube.com at the Expedition.
Okay. And is it the @ sign or is it AT?
It's the @ sign.
Okay.
So
sweet.
It's just the Expedition.
Yeah,
with
that's
the
pretty cool
sign.
that was even available.
I know. I couldn't believe it, frankly.
I mean, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's very good. So, and that's all of our shorts are on there. All of I'll put everything that we do on there.
Cool.
So
nice. Yeah. Well, we got a lot of good stuff coming up, and we're starting to feel in the tap room that, as the temperatures start to drop, people are starting to come in more and that, it's getting darker a lot earlier in Montana where it's, summertime, it's light till 10 or 10:30. People are out mowing their grass at 9:30 and now, going to freeze if they're out there that late. So we're starting to see more activity, and I'm hopeful that all of the musical acts that we have coming through are going to continue to see. I can start to see uptick in the ones that are ticketed and even the free shows and the $5 cover shows. Just a lot more people wandering in, enjoying a pizza, enjoying some music, playing some games in the game room. So
That's awesome.
I think we're on a nice upswing for the fall and winter schedule. Should be fun.
Well, good. Well, we'll just keep doing this, keep growing this podcast, and hopefully take it to levels where we're maybe getting some musician interviews and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And so it's fun. But anything else?
No, I think we nailed it.
All right.
5 stars on this one.
5 stars. We got it within
like and subscribe,
less than 50. Like and subscribe. I love your grandkid. Like and subscribe. But I'm Ricky J for Max P. Cheers.